today, Ian?
Doing alright, I guess.
I'm
Are you Reid? Nice to meet you.
Come on in.
Thank you for coming on, speaking with me.
Yeah, no problem. Sit down.
Doesn't matter where I sit.
Wherever you feel comfortable. So what can I do for you, Ian?
Well, are you familiar about my recent interaction with DHS here?
I don't think so. If you could kind of go ahead and fill me in.
Do you know Emma?
What's the program is it?
She would have been a part of a 5115.
Okay. So would that be over?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that she works here and everything, and I'm curious if you happen to know who I'm speaking about, because I never got a last name.
I'm sure I can find her.
Could you provide her last name?
I can once I know it.
Okay. And also I'm looking for her supervisor's name.
Okay.
Um, and the reason why I'm here and looking for their names and everything is because of what occurred on February 13th, 2026.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that.
It's kind of complicated, but essentially, to break it down, the Hartland Police Department was contacted by a VFW member who happens to be also active Air Force, regarding a letter that I sent him through the U.S. Postal Service. And after he reported it to the Hartland Police Department, they referred him to the Waukesha Sheriffs for jurisdiction purposes. After that, Hartland PD's Detective Shea, Waukesha PD's Detective Jensen, and the Chief of Police of Deputy Chief of Police of Hartland, and several other officers all got together to discuss this letter. And they came to the conclusion that you guys should be contacted, DHS, and they initiated a 5115 process.
Okay.
Ultimately, it was approved. I was committed to Winnebago Mental Health for 6 days, awaiting a probable cause hearing. Eventually, I didn't even have the hearing because there was no probable cause, because fundamentally my letters that they were all concerned about and everything, there's no threatening language in it, there's no conveying of harm to anyone. It conveys religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, and it's all First Amendment protected.
Okay.
The conduct of writing the letter, the materials within the letter, and the act of sending the letter to who I sent it to, all First Amendment protected activities. Okay? The response that I got from authorities, criminal, a violation of my rights, to throw me and institutionalize me into a mental hospital in the attempt to have me force medicated by court order because I filed complaints with a Hartland Police Department the 2 days prior, 2 different complaints.
Now, when you're talking about medication being forced on you, are you talking about something that happened here or while you were at Winnebago?
Winnebago was going to approach the courts with paperwork that recommended that I be medicated for exercising my First Amendment rights.
So the Winnebago part of this wouldn't involve Waukesha County itself.
Okay, that's kind of like beyond the point. It's just the fact that it escalates,
Okay.
and ultimately I wouldn't have been committed to Winnebago at all if it wasn't approved by people here.
So from here, the first involvement at Waukesha County was with the Sheriff's Department, correct? Regarding this incident?
The first interaction was with Hartland Police Department.
Right, but I'm saying as far as Waukesha County
Yes.
is concerned, it would have been the Sheriff's Department.
Yes.
And at that point, they would have gone to the courts. Is that my understanding?
No, they came to you.
To us here?
Yes.
Okay, so they contacted.
They contacted your in-house
Okay.
person. I don't know who exactly it is. I know Emma was the person who was dispatched to speak with me.
So that was probably in our crisis department.
Yes.
Okay. And then from there, whoever you spoke with, so if it was Emma,
They came
she
in.
felt like it needed.
They came into the room with a predetermined conclusion.
Okay.
All right. They already made the decision to commit me before even talking to me. Okay. And fundamentally, the act of committing me, taking me away from my family, my kids, in cuffs, and treating me like they did, it's highly criminal underneath federal statutes, USCS 242, conspiracy against civil rights, and USCS 241, deprivation of rights. I mean, I had my rights violated hardcore for the fundamental act of exercising my First Amendment right, which this has been a pattern of behavior.
Okay.
I have filed complaints with the police departments, confronting them about their crimes against my rights. Every time I've done that, I've ended up in cuffs and in jail. Or, like in this scenario, in cuffs and then a mental institution. Because I'm pursuing justice behind my First Amendment rights.
How long had it been? So I'm assuming that the police came and spoke to you first before they brought in the crisis worker. Is that correct?
They came to me and kidnapped me.
Okay, so they came and took you into custody, in other words.
Illegally. They shouldn't have even been at my house because they didn't have probable cause. Even the courts made that determination.
No, I understand that, but I'm just trying to. I really can't speak to the legal part of it. I can only speak to what our involvement was, and that's what I'm trying to understand.
Your involvement is you gave the reasonable and legal justification for the authorities to do what they did, and they would not have been able to do that without your guys' involvement.
But let me just understand this, Ian.
No, that's right.
I'm not saying you're telling me anything wrong. I'm just trying to understand it a little bit better. So when Emma first became involved, you were already in police custody.
I was already in cuffs.
And had you already met with the sheriff's department at that point too?
They came to my house and just pretty much grabbed me.
So it was the sheriff's department that did that?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
But Hartland PD was there too.
Okay.
A Detective Jensen and a Detective Shea showed up at my front door. They asked me to step outside, asked me some BS questions, and then they grabbed me and said I was being detained.
So, I mean, at that point, were you pretty upset?
Yes. I mean,
it's understandable, and so that's why.
It's not like this is just the first time. This is literally like the second and third time that this has happened through different police departments and different, like, I apologize if I seem aggravated and everything, but it's just.
No, you don't at all.
Like, it's traumatizing.
No, I understand completely.
Like, they act like they're so concerned about my mental health, but they're not identifying the source of it, which is their tyranny, their abuse of my civil rights.
So by the time that Emma was involved, you were already kind of escalated a little bit because of what the police were doing to you.
By that point, I was calmed down, but yes, as I was being taken from my front door to the squad car, I was yelling, I was screaming, and I was just upset because every time I exercised my First Amendment rights while filing official police department complaints, confronting them about their misconduct, abuse of power in a previous situation, their response is to escalate. And they escalate through federal crimes. And unfortunately, I live in a society where the federal attorneys in my area do not respect the law enough to enforce it.
Yeah. So how long had Emma spoken with you?
I have a video and everything. You know, I have the interview video. She spoke to me for maybe 15 minutes.
Okay. So she asked you like a series of questions. And
I can play you the video right now if you want.
No,
I can provide you the link.
I really don't want to get into like your mental health stuff if I don't have to. I mean.
Well, see, the issue is I tried to warn her and I tried to tell her exactly what was going on, and I tried to tell her, like, you're here over my letters, I get that. You're asking me about my letters, I get that. But what about my letters is not First Amendment protected? I asked her, what legal justification do you have for even me being here?
So you said you have the video here?
I have it posted on the internet, and I have it on my phone.
Can you show it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If you don't mind.
No, I don't. Like, usually when I offer to show these things to you people, you say no immediately, and it's just like, I don't completely understand, like, why. Alright, let me disconnect my headphones.
Hi, Ian.
Hey there.
My name's Emma.
Emma?
Yep.
Nice to meet you, Emma.
Nice to meet you.
I'll step out of the room if you're good talking to Emma.
I'm fine. I mean,
Feel fine?
can we
What are you more
talk like
comfortable with?
without cuffs? I would feel like I'd be treated a little bit more like a human being without cuffs on.
Okay. I'm just offering you to be in the room
person.
now.
I'm not, like, I understand you're here to talk. I want to talk, but I hate having cuffs, right? It just brings back traumatic memories.
Okay. So my policy says I gotta keep you in cuffs. I'm just wondering if you'd be more comfortable with me out of the room or in the room.
I'd be more comfortable with you out of the room.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just be outside.
Alright?
Alright.
That way I can focus my attention on whatever you want to talk about.
So what's going on? Why are you here today?
Well, what did they just tell you?
They told me that you were sending like some concerning letters. Like you put some letters on some people's car and you wrote a lot of complaints.
Okay. Is that criminal?
I don't think so.
Then why am I here?
Because they're concerned about the content of
Is that
what you
criminal?
wrote. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Then why am I here?
To talk to me.
I get that. Alright. Because right now I have to negotiate my freedom with you.
So I just want to know what's going on with you.
It's a long story.
Okay. I got plenty of time. You can start from wherever you want to start.
Even if I explain it fully, I don't think you could ever understand.
Okay.
Because you have to live the experiences. But I get in this cycle. I express
Mm-hmm.
my thoughts and opinions, and I end up in cuffs for it. And I'm sorry, but expressing my thoughts and opinions through my First Amendment is not criminal.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm being punished right now for exercising constitutional rights.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have to negotiate with you my freedom, which I don't think I'm going to get. I think you're going to send me somewhere besides my home, which is just going to cause more trauma.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that the police would be concerned with what you were writing? Why you were expressing, like, your First Amendment rights?
Because I get the impression that I scare people,
Okay.
and I don't mean to.
Okay.
I tend to tell them the truth, and I have learned that being honest can make you hated. Speaking the truth can make you a target, and then when you start speaking the truth about people, about truths that they don't want to accept,
Mm-hmm.
they target you. So that's what's going on.
Okay. What are some truths that you have that maybe other people don't agree with?
That I live underneath a tyrannical government
Okay.
who likes to abuse their power and personal authority
Mm-hmm.
to throw me in cuffs and detain me and take me from my family for simply exercising my First Amendment right, which is not criminal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people would understand that because they don't have the life experiences that I do. But at the end of the day, are my letters First Amendment protected? Are they constantly protected acts?
You have to ask the officer about constitutional
Okay.
protection.
I get that. I don't understand where the legal authority is here
Mm-hmm.
to put me in cuffs and do this, considering the fact that what they're concerned about
Mm-hmm.
is a First Amendment constitutionally protected right.
I think some of the letters may be taken as threatening, like threats to harm people.
Is there?
Yeah, some of them.
Could you grab one of my letters and please point out exactly where I'm threatening people?
There's quite a few spots.
Okay, could we go over them?
I don't have a physical copy. I just saw them electronically. I don't know who has the actual copy. Did you bring it here or was it in Brookfield?
Excuse me, I got taken out of my bed.
Did you drop sounds like you dropped some off at Brookfield today?
Did I?
Some letters? Okay. Sounds like you moved out of your apartment this morning? Were you planning on moving somewhere else?
My lease is up.
Okay.
I had to move.
Okay. Do you have another place figured out, or are you
Yeah,
gonna
the
stay
place I was.
with your parents? Okay.
For now.
Do you have access to any guns, or do you own any guns?
No.
No. Okay.
I have no intention of hurting anyone, not myself, not others, alright? I express my viewpoints, my beliefs, which is not criminal. It's well within my First Amendment right. And I experienced this. And it's, I don't like the trauma. I don't like experiencing this type of stuff from authorities.
It's understandable.
But yet here I am again, and I got taken away from my family again, under what I perceive as unjust reasons. Because regardless of how my words make people feel, they are First Amendment protected, constitutionally protected. So the reaction from authorities to my constitutionally protected act, I think is unjust. I have negative feelings about it. I don't like having these feelings, but you know what? I'm not the one that keeps on abusing the power and authority to take me away from my family and kids. I'm happy there.
How many kids do you have?
3.
Okay. Boys, girls?
2 boys and a little girl.
Okay. Are they young, old?
They are.
Young? Good ages? Fun?
The age gap is just far enough to where it's difficult.
Yeah.
Like, do you have kids?
No.
Then you would never understand, but
Yeah.
yeah. So when am I going after this?
I'm not sure.
Well, they said it's up to you.
It's up to me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what's gonna happen next, but I'll let you know when we kind of figure that out.
What do you mean you're not sure?
I have to talk to my boss too.
Who's your boss?
My boss at Crisis.
Do you have a name?
I do, yeah.
Could I have your boss's name?
I'll talk to them.
So, who makes the determination here about what happens from here?
Crisis.
So you.
Me and my supervisor.
Okay, what? 2 options probably on the table. What are they?
So you could be placed on an emergency detention to be evaluated for mental health treatment.
Is there any other option?
The other option is we would do nothing. So those are kind of the 2 options we have.
Okay, but you didn't even voice out the second option, which tells me we're probably already have chosen the first option in your head, right?
I have to talk to my supervisor. Just trying to figure out like why everyone's concerned and get your perspective on it.
Their concerns, they don't like the First Amendment. Like, you need to really kind of consider that, like, First Amendment, constitutionally protected act, right?
I believe so. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't.
So, I mean, they're getting people that know nothing about the law to make a determination about my freedom based on First Amendment protected activities?
The determination I have to make is based on if there's concerns that you're a risk to yourself or others.
Do I seem like it?
Well, based on some of the things you've written, yeah, there's
Okay,
a lot of concerns.
but are you gonna judge a book by its cover? Like, you learn a lot more about a person by talking to them. Do I seem like that? I'm not trying to put on an act here. I'm not trying to trick you. I feel like you people are trying to trick me.
I'm just trying to get a better understanding for the things that you were writing, the concerns that are in there about, like, some of the statements you made about, like, people seeing their judgment day and...
Okay, is that within my First Amendment right to have those beliefs?
You can have beliefs. My concern is the threat that's behind it.
What is the threat?
That you're going to bring people to their judgment day.
No, that's not how Judgment Day works.
Okay.
Judgment Day works, people judge themselves by casting judgment. I'm just a catalyst in my mind. If you really want to filter this whole situation through those beliefs, if you judge me, you're judging yourself.
It sounds like, too, you're interested in the VFW.
I was interested in, yes, attending the VFW to show my respect and everything for veterans and just, but I can't.
How come you can't go there?
Because I went there and I thanked them for their service, and then I handed an officer a letter, and, not an officer, a military personnel. And then 20-some days after that, I got banned for exercising my First Amendment right.
What was in the letter?
Well, you didn't get that one?
No.
Then you have incomplete information that you're going off of to make your determination about where I go.
When did that occur, when you got banned?
Years ago.
Okay. And the ban, is it forever? Like, you can never go back there, or is there like a time limit?
Yes, and I have an issue with that.
Okay.
But I've tried doing it the right way. I came here initially and I asked them if it was still in place. Yes, they told me that they would call the VFW to see if there was a way that they could help me. Great. VFW doesn't want me. All right, whatever.
Okay.
But like, I try to do the things the right way, and it keeps getting me in trouble. It's not right. I report crimes of government against me and my rights, and I end up in cuffs. And it happens over and over and over. It's traumatic. It gives me complex post-traumatic stress disorder.
Have you ever seen a therapist before?
A therapist? Court-ordered, kind of. Counselor. I wouldn't really call him a therapist.
Just someone to talk to about your feelings?
Yeah, because everyone gets concerned when I start voicing my opinions.
Did you find counseling helpful?
No.
Okay.
Because I felt like I was talking to a brick wall. Because they lack understanding. They lack awareness of what's really going on in the world.
Okay.
And I wish I could convey understanding enough to where people understood, but I talk to people and it's like talking to a brick wall. They're incapable of understanding because I can't give you guys my life experiences.
Yeah, I get that. It's hard to understand if you've never been in that person's shoes.
It's difficult. And every single time I gotta talk about it, I gotta reopen up old wounds. Like, it's not...
Have you ever wanted to hurt yourself?
No.
Okay. Have you ever done anything to try to hurt yourself?
No. Like, I have kids. I care. I live for my kids, their future. Unfortunately, I also live in a situation where I keep experiencing life experiences like this. Which, if you really put yourself in my shoes and try to view the situation from my viewpoint, through the limited understanding of my life experiences that you have, I see tyranny. I exercise First Amendment rights and I'm punished for what, thought crimes? Presumptions? Assumptions? Like, is that what's going on? Because it really feels like it.
Mm-hmm.
I asked a question, you just sit this down on.
Well, I'm not a criminal investigator, so I don't know.
No,
You know what the
you're here to
consequences are.
determine my mental health state, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to convey that, but it's really hard without giving you the life experiences, and they're only giving you a tiny bit of the information, so you're working off of limited information.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm here to talk to you, to get information from you. I'm just trying to understand kind of like what was going through your mind when you were writing those complaints and those letters.
Every time I got arrested unjustly, I would like justice in my life. Is that wrong?
No, you just have to do it in
Is
a way that's
depriving
safe.
me of justice wrong?
Mm-hmm.
It is wrong, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many times I've been to the FBI?
No, I don't. Like you've gone to see the FBI?
To their field office in Milwaukee.
Okay.
4 times to report crimes.
Okay.
You know what typically happens?
I don't know.
Nothing, or I get arrested. You know, I can prove
Mm-hmm.
crimes against my rights beyond a reasonable doubt with plenty of evidence, and I can present it to the FBI, and you know what they're supposed to do with it?
Investigate it.
And if there's evidence of a crime, you know what they're supposed to do with it?
Continue forward with it.
By doing what?
Talking to the prosecutor. I
Exactly.
would think.
You know, I'm currently banned from the prosecutor's office down in Milwaukee, the attorney's office, the federal attorney's office. Are you aware of that?
Mm-mm.
Do you know why?
I don't know.
Because I reported crimes to them.
What kind of crimes do you report?
Crimes against my First Amendment rights.
Okay.
Just like now. And you understand how this keeps happening over and over now? Like, I just told you several things that you have no idea about. And you're here to make a determination about my freedom. It's not right. There's so much that you don't know. You say I should do things the right way? I try. So I voice my written opinion and beliefs
Mm-hmm.
to these people because I'm not getting justice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to get justice because these people are depriving me of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you understand how bad that is for someone's psyche?
What does justice look like for you?
Them in cuffs, not me.
Okay. Have you ever had thoughts about like anything else you'd like to see happen to anyone?
No, I just want to see people do their jobs. But you know what? Every time I try to get someone to do their jobs, I end up in cuffs. It's not right. I'm the victim here. I get abused. I have my rights abused. I report them, and I get thrown in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to spend thousands of dollars in lawyer fees, legal fees, fighting against charges that should have never been applied to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the day, I get exonerated in court. I get proven through my jury and my peers that I was not committing the crime that I was being accused of committing by my federal government.
Mm-hmm.
But did that undo the arrest, the time for my family, the trauma that I experienced? No, it doesn't. And what did I do wrong? I reported crimes to the FBI. It's not right what you people are doing right now.
Well, thanks for chatting with me.
Is this the end?
I mean, there's other parts, but that's the
No, that,
extent
I
of my
understand
interview
where you're
with Emma.
coming from. Okay.
And after that, they told me that, they approved it and everything, and then...
So you wouldn't have been present, like, when the police were talking to her prior to this, you wouldn't have known what they said to her?
No, I know that the initial reporting of the crime, or the letter, they considered it a crime, was like 10 o'clock. The sheriffs got involved within 15 minutes by 10:15. Don't know exactly what time they contacted Crisis, but I know by 5 o'clock that evening they were at my door.
To get some mental health
The
treatment.
police department was?
Yes.
Yep.
So
And
it
Crisis wasn't with them at
it
that
took
time?
them all day to arrange,
Wow.
to coordinate, and figure out a way to silence me through weaponization of government.
What was in the letter?
A lot of stuff. It contains my beliefs that we are in the end of days and biblical prophecy is imminent, which a lot of priests,
What's your religious background?
I'm a spiritual person, so it's kind of like a mixed group. I don't belong to any box. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe I'm a spiritual person, but I live Christ-like principles.
Right.
And everything like that. But I don't think that one religion is right over the other one. I think everyone worships the same thing just through their own cultural lenses.
So essentially what you were doing is kind of sharing your beliefs of the Bible.
That, and I also confronted the Air Force person with paperwork from Hartland Police Department from the 2023 trespass order. And I was like, hey, this is evidence of violations of my rights. And it's in violation of the federal laws, USC 242 and 241. I essentially confronted them with their actions that violated my rights.
So was this the same organization that you had received the don't?
The VFW?
Yeah.
It was a member of that organization.
Okay.
And the member of that organization happens to represent and essentially speak for the federal government because he's active Air Force. Okay, I gave him a letter, a 9-page letter that explained a bit about myself, a bit about my concerns about society, and how I think that we are traveling down the wrong trajectory that's just going to self-implode, opinions, beliefs. The government likes to label my writings as manifestos or anti-government. They are not manifestos, and any part of it that is anti-government is anti-corruption, and it's only pointing out crimes that have happened to me personally. I'm not a broad anti-government person. I'm anti-corruption. If you're going to abuse the government and weaponize the judicial system or weaponize DHHS against me and my rights in order to, yes, I'm against that because it's wrong. But they blanket it and call it anti-government, and I understand when you confront these people with their crimes, you're literally presenting them with an issue that could cost them their jobs. And they go into self-preservation mode, they go into damage control, and it's far easier for them to silence me by any means possible rather than exercising the law and upholding their oath by defending my rights and freedoms. To them, I'm an easier problem to solve than the one that's within them that's generating the violations to my rights.
Right.
And I can prove this with legal documents, with legal history. The state has a history of persecuting me for exercising my beliefs in my First Amendment and reporting crimes to the proper authorities.
Now, at any of those other times, were you kind of put through the same process where you ended up with a Chapter 51 hold or anything of that nature?
No.
Okay, so this was the first time.
They tried everything else. They tried legitimate persecution. It failed. I got exonerated in court.
Okay.
They tried to apply 3 felony stalking charges to me.
How long ago was the last time that you had interaction with police departments?
I think 2025. I wrote 3 letters to 3 officers and the chief of police at Brookfield, confronting them with their crimes against my rights. And I was arrested for bail jumping charges because my judge is an idiot and he applied a blanket order that said I had to get permission from the court in order to write any government entity within the state of Wisconsin, which is so broad that it's unconstitutional. He had to re-go back on his order, but at the end of the day, me exercising my First Amendment rights to write these officers, which is a petition, a letter of grievance, got me arrested because they applied that blanket order when they knew they shouldn't have.
So when you said 2025, like approximately what time of year was it? In spring, summer, fall, winter?
Summer.
Okay.
And the department that had to assist Brookfield with that arrest was Hartland PD.
I see.
So, I mean, they have a reason to silence me, so to speak. They have a reason to cover up crimes because I was confronting them about their involvement with not only that illegal arrest, because that case was dismissed because it was unconstitutional to begin with, and then also the VFW incident, where I handed the letter to active Air Force, and then that person took it to his commander. 20 days later, I got a trespass order from the VFW through the VFW commander. But I mean, when I went there, I thanked these people for their service. I asked a little bit about where they served because I actually grew up idolizing the military and veterans. You know, I have the perception that everyone else does. They're honorable people. They're making sacrifices for our country. They are respectable. Then I started getting my rights violated by them. And now I'm just, like, it's very conflicting. Just mentally.
I can understand.
Because they swore an oath to defend my rights and freedom, but yet I am constantly put in a position where I have to defend my rights and freedoms from the very people responsible for defending them for me. Whether it be police, the federal government, the U.S. military.
So when you were taken, before you were taken to, I'm assuming that you had to have some kind of a hearing. Were you present for the hearing?
For this last situation?
Right.
No, they threw me in Winnebago. So
what ends up happening?
Solve the problem, due process later. That was their methodology.
Yeah, so a lot of times, like, police can make kind of that decision that, okay, we're going to put you on a chapter hold until the court has a chance to review it. But you were there for about a week or so at some point the court had to review that.
It took them 6 days to review it, and by the time they reviewed it, they dismissed it because there was no probable cause.
Got you. Okay.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, my rights were violated. And it was solely because of the actions of Crisis.
Well, Crisis doesn't make that decision. They have to give information based on what they observed, what the conversation that Emma had with you, plus what they're told. So the information that's provided to them.
Okay, so if a bunch of officers lie and withhold information and omit truth in order to get you guys to be complicit in their conspiracy against my rights, like, you're still accountable underneath the law. Just because you're unaware that they're lying to you in order to violate my rights and abuse their power through you does not make you immune from.
So that's the thing. I mean, the information that Emma provides is only what's shared with her. So if the police are lying to her, ultimately the judge makes
Okay,
the
but
decision.
the information that I provided her in that interview room should have gotten me released because it's all factually correct. And she chose not to look into what I had to say, just took the officer's word, sided with them before she even walked in the room.
I don't know that it's a matter that she sided with them before she walked in the room.
Okay, well, even if you don't agree with that belief and opinion of mine, at the end of the day, they gave them the go-ahead to commit me.
Again, I have to explain to you that Crisis has no determination. All they do is convey the information that they've observed or that they've learned through their investigation or their interview with you or with law enforcement. Ultimately, the decision is made by the court. And once the court makes a decision, that's something that can't be grieved through this office. I mean, you can complain here, but I can't do it. Ultimately, I have no authority to do anything about it.
Okay, well, the way I explained the due process that I experienced under this situation, does that sound typical? Does that sound normal? The fact that I didn't get, they didn't get the courts involved until 6 days after the incident.
Yes, I'm not sure how that works as far as like when there's a committal. Usually it's within a day or two you have a hearing, so I'm not really sure why there would have been any delay.
Why isn't there a hearing before you violate my rights?
That's a good question. I really don't have an answer for you on that. I would assume that it was during a weekend, so
It was.
Friday evening going in through the weekend. So I'm not sure if there would be.
That's not a reasonable excuse, though.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just not sure that there would have been a judge available to hold a hearing throughout the weekend. They would typically wait till the next business day.
So at that point, aren't they stepping out of bounds? Aren't they abusing their power and personal authority?
Again, I can't really speak to the circumstances because I don't know all of the details. Based on what you're telling me, if I believe solely what you're telling me, I can understand where you're coming from.
Well, I'm not lying.
I'm not saying you are. A lot of times there's a misconception of or a misunderstanding of what's going on based on the facts. And
A misunderstanding that results to my confinement, loss of freedom, liberty, and violation of my rights. I mean, I had 3 departments show up to take me off my porch. An excessive police presence. You know how that looks to my neighbors? I had one department get out of their car, pull over my brother in the beginning of the neighborhood, and pointed a loaded shotgun at him because they were there for me. He thought that I was my brother, pointing a loaded shotgun.
Wow.
I mean, is that not excessive underneath the circumstances that you have no probable cause to begin with?
Right. Again, that's certainly a legal matter that you can take to an attorney and have them look
The
into
issue
that.
is the attorneys don't respect the law to enforce it. Like, the federal attorneys, I'm banned from the federal attorney's office through the U.S. Marshals.
No, I'm not talking about, going to like the DA, and going about it that route, but you can certainly look at it from a civil perspective. And
That's not justice.
I'm not trying to give you.
That doesn't change the behavior that is causing the repetitive nature of my rights being violated.
I understand what you're saying, Ian, but the point is that I can't address those.
No, I understand it. But what you can address is the actions of crisis.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing, based on the information that was provided to Emma, and the information that Emma would in turn then share with her supervisor, all of that information would be shared with the courts. And, the courts give, kind of a broad authority, especially in this day and age, with all of the stuff that's happening throughout the entire United States. A lot of times the courts can be pretty broad as far as what they would allow to have happen. So they may otherwise.
If the courts were asked before I was taken, do you think they would have allowed it?
I really can't speak to that.
They dismissed it, so they wouldn't have.
I understand that. I really can't speak to what happened at the time because I wasn't there.
Well, what happened at the time is crisis got involved because the sheriffs and the Hartland PD needed crisis to approve a 5115 because the courts were not available. So you guys supplemented the courts in that moment.
So again, you have to understand that Emma is going based on the information that law enforcement is providing to her and the information that you tell her during your interview.
I understand that, but at the end of the day, I'm here to do the grievance process for my client's rights and everything, and I have the belief and opinion and even the evidence that my civil rights, my First Amendment rights, were violated in the actions and process of crisis through DHS. But I'm here to express that grievance. I'm here to file a formal complaint. I'm here for you guys to do your investigation or whatever.
Absolutely.
Because I think someone needs to be held accountable on your end for their actions.
Let me ask you this. Do I have your permission to be able to go back and research through any notes that
Yes.
Emma? Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I can go into your medical file that we have.
That's fine. I mean, the deeper you dig, the more you're going to uncover. I mean, I don't like how Emma tried to tell me that my writings that they were there about conveyed threatening or threats and everything. They don't.
Yeah. really
And that's the
unfortunate
reason
thing-
why I asked her, go get a copy, because I want you to point out, I want you to literally take your finger and point out on any one of my pages where this threat is, because you're making a claim that's not true.
I understand where you're coming from there too, and the problem is a lot of times the law views things through the eye of the victim or the person that's the threat is being imposed on. So if that person feels threatened, then that's the way the law takes it. It's not always right, definitely not always right, but ultimately that's the way that the law looks at it. So it's really unfortunate. So though you might not intend it to be a threat.
That's what narcissists do. They play the victim card.
I understand. I'm not saying that it's right. I certainly am not.
They violate my rights and I confront them about it, and all of a sudden they're the victim somehow.
So what else can I do for you? So once I complete the investigation, what do you have in mind as far as what you're hoping to have happen?
To be honest, Emma's supervisor or Emma be fired for their actions that resulted in my rights being violated, a shotgun being pointed at my brother's head, and me being taken away from my kids.
Well, you do have to understand that Emma doesn't have any control over a lot of that stuff.
She had control in that room.
Right, so you're talking about a 15-minute window from an entire weekend.
That 15 minutes determined on whether or not I get to go home or if I get committed.
But you have to understand that what led up to that 15 minutes, you were already there before she was involved in the process.
And you guys were already contacted before I was picked up.
What do you mean by you guys?
Crisis.
Okay.
Your in-house crisis specialist. What happened before and after is kind of irrelevant, because at the end of the day, Emma and her supervisor had complete authority in that room to either commit me or send me home. They were that pivotal decision.
All right, anything else that I should know as part of the investigation?
No, but if I could at the very least get Emma's last name and the name of her supervisor at some point. My phone number is 262 490 1636. I'm going to be honest, if the pattern in history sticks, no one is ever held accountable or punished or reprimanded for any of their actions that result against my civil rights being violated. And I plan on taking this to, I don't know, the Attorney General or the federal attorney, like someone above the jurisdictional authorities in my area who would choose to not do a damn thing about it.
Right. Well, I can certainly investigate and determine whether or not any violations occurred from Emma's perspective or her supervisors based on the information that I'm able to learn through the investigation. Okay.
All right. I mean, at the end of the day, my rights were violated. It's just a matter of who's responsible, and you people keep placing the blame.
Well,
This is exactly what you're trying to do at this moment. Like, you're trying to, and I understand that. I understand. No one wants to take responsibility for violating someone's rights.
I think you have to understand that I have to be as neutral as I can.
I get that. I get that.
I'm not saying that
It's just in my experience, I have these in-person conversations with people. Like I had one with the Deputy Chief of Police of Hartland when I filed my first complaint. Had just like this and everything. Said he was going to be unbiased and everything. They take it very seriously. But as soon as I leave, it's a completely different person that's speaking with everyone else, and they go into damage control.
Yeah, I really can't speak to anything that they do.
No, it's just I understand the nature of people. I understand psychology better than people understand, and it's upsetting that they keep on questioning my mental health, and to the point where they want to commit me and have me force medicated in order to change my behavior, but yet they don't even want to recognize the behavior and conduct of authorities that is resulting in my civil rights violations, which is just generating this whole situation to where I even have to come in here. I shouldn't have to, because it shouldn't have happened in the first place.
No, I definitely appreciate you talking with me.
I appreciate you coming and talking to me. It's hard for me to talk about these things without getting a little emotional, because you can't separate your emotions from it. I can't.
Right.
It's just,
I'm sure it's very frustrating.
what's even more frustrating is nothing ever comes of it. No one's ever held accountable. I'm gonna walk out of here today, and at the end of the day, probably nothing's gonna happen. And I have to accept the reality of that.
Well, you know, I'll do what I can.
I would appreciate it,
And,
but it's
and
like,
the thing is, you also have to understand that my role in this is to investigate the facts.
I understand that. I get
And
that
then-
by this.
And then from that point, I convey that information to decision makers. I can make recommendations, but ultimately it's the management team that would have to make those decisions, okay?
Okay, quick question. If there was sort of any recommendation or like being reprimanded or like, whatever, who in this building is responsible for that part of their job? Like, I understand you got crisis, you got teach, like,
It really depends on.
would it be HR or just?
It really just, it depends on what, to what level. I mean, there's multiple levels of disciplinary processes.
I mean, incompetence and misconduct of your job duties to the point where violating someone's rights, taking away from, like, I'm sorry, if that's the service that you provide, you should not be working for this service.
And you have to understand also that I'm required, so if I do the investigation and I do see that there's something where your rights were violated, maliciously, by somebody who's licensed, I have an obligation to report that to the state. So it's not a matter of me just looking at it and making a
I get that.
recommendation
And
to the
if
boss.
you do come to that conclusion, which if you actually investigate it openly, honestly, and everything, there's no way you're not going to come to that conclusion, I would appreciate you to report it to the state. The state's not going to do a damn thing, but at least there's record.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm looking for, is just get all of this on record.
Okay.
That's why I'm here. So at the end of the day, if I could get a copy of your report conclusion or whatever, like,
Let me have your mailing address. Just
North 53,
North 53.
West 33492,
Okay.
Terrace Drive, Terrace, and that's Neshota.
Neshota.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wisconsin 53058. I can also give you an email.
Okay.
It'd be Ian Olson Legal, all one word, at yahoo.com.
Is that OLSON?
OLSON.
Okay.
That's what I use for all my records and legal stuff.
Ian Olson Legal at
Yahoo.com.
Okay.
Any of those options will work for providing me.
Which do you prefer? Email's pretty quick, so once I finish the investigation.
To be honest, I would prefer email and paper records.
Okay. So what I can do is send you an email and then also mail you a copy.
I would greatly appreciate
Okay.
that.
All right. Well, thank you, Ian.
Right, thank you.
We'll get back down
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming out and talking to me and everything. It's just, I'm looking for some sort of redress to this grievance.
here. No, I understand that completely.
Which, yeah. So, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Nice
Thank you.
meeting
You too.
Have a good day.